than 3 hours of testimony. Democratic Chairwoman Maxine did not appear willing to grant his request. Here's some of that.
If you'd wish to keep me here so that I don't have my important meeting and continue to grill me, then we can do that. I will cancel my meeting and I will not be back here.
The secretary has agreed to stay to hear all of the rest of the members.
Okay,
please
so
cancel your meeting and respect our
time.
time.
I am
Who is next on the list?
My foreign meeting. You're instructing me to stay here and I should cancel.
No, you just made me an offer.
No, I didn't make you an offer.
You made me an offer that I accepted. You are free to leave anytime you want. You may go anytime you want.
Please dismiss everybody. I believe you're supposed to take the gravel and bang it.
Please do not instruct me as to how I'm to conduct this committee.
Secretary Mnuchin did then have that meeting with Bahrain's interior minister. He tweeted this photo saying they discussed the two nations' cooperation in the fight against terrorism and illicit finance. So, Marie, I will go to you first. Was it really that hard to let him take the meeting?
Look, I staffed a secretary who testified on Congress many times. You don't schedule an important meeting at the end of a day of congressional testimony because you know it always goes long. I think that this administration is showing, and the way he responded to her was just showing disdain towards congressional oversight, which I think I just sort of am uncomfortable with. On the issue of tax.
No, I'm just
Why
laughing.
Is that funny?
No, because I think that, and I totally will let you finish. I think that he's a rich dude who shows disdain for everybody, quite frankly. Yeah. But go ahead.
No, sure, but when you're in the executive branch, Congress has oversight, and you have to sit there, and you have to be there for hours and days at a time, and that is how this system works. When it comes to tax returns, Mick Mulvaney made clear this weekend on Fox News Sunday that Donald Trump could actually release them. He's not prevented from doing it. His own chief of staff said.
There's also no law that requires him to do so. And until there is, there's no reason why he should or ought. And calls from Democrats to release his tax returns. Why in the world would he do that? He's exactly right. People elected him knowing who he was. He's a rich businessman who understands the tax code. Fine, you can say things like that. Whatever. He got elected, and he'll probably get reelected again, and he doesn't need to show his tax returns in order to do so. There's no law requiring it. So what are they overseeing?
I've said this. Can I hop in for 1 second? So this is exactly what he said today, because he painted himself into a little bit more of a corner even here today. He said, I would love to do it, but I'm under audit. But if I weren't, I would do it. I'd love to. So if it comes out and if they ever, all the IRS has to do is say you're not under audit, and then he said I would love to. So they could call his bluff, and then we would see
Well, technically, a president or vice president are under audit. Then they're using the House Ways and Means Committee chairman is using that as an excuse to try and get at the president's tax returns to make sure that the IRS is indeed auditing the president the way that they're supposed to. This is with him in office, number one. Number two, and I'll raise this, I've said all along, Congress just wants to embarrass President Trump. Then this is one avenue to do that. But if he's not embarrassed by what's in those tax returns, you would think he likes bragging about his wealth. Why not release him at this point? But just give it to him so they don't have a fight.
Yeah, this isn't oversight. This is harassment. I mean, there is no law. What are they overseeing? Really, what's the function of this hearing to bring the Treasury Secretary before your committee and bludgeon him to get the President of the United States to release tax returns he's not required to release?
Well,
it's Trump derangement syndrome on continued display.
There's a statute, actually, that says Congress can ask for the tax returns of any American. And that's the statute they're operating under. It's in the code.
But you're not allowed to do it for vicious political reasons.
That actually isn't in the code. It's not what it says.
You cannot use private tax information to go after people for political reasons. The IRS has done that for a number of years under the Obama administration against regular citizens, not just against a president of the United States who has the resources to fight this. But, Pete, I think that they should make a law that congressional hearings should be no longer than 3 hours anyway.
I think every American would agree with you.
Because they're too long.
Yeah, and he set a meeting for 5 o'clock. He wanted to keep that meeting, and they wanted to keep harassing.
I'll add this, though. So what the Congressman Neal of House Ways and Means can do, he can file a subpoena or bring a lawsuit against the administration. They're going to fight it until the 2020 election and then let the voters decide whether the transparency of somebody's tax returns matters to them when it comes to their everyday lives. I think that that's what the game plan is by the White House.
Well, we will see. Vice President Mike Pence calling for action to address the crisis in Venezuela during a speech to the UN Security Council.